what we are going to try is to try to have players that they can play in different positions. Is the way I see the football, and also is the way that I like to work every day to try to improve players and to help them to play not only in one position, that they can play in different positions. Also because sometimes many players, they say, I can play as a winger, and for them it's just there. But I don't think if you move them 5-10 meters inside, that there are big changes. So it's just a matter of to convince them and to adapt, but when they are good players, they can play in different positions.
Truly a breath of fresh air. To be honest, I've listened to Enzo Maresca's press conference probably 3 to 5 times by now. Now, of course, talk is cheap. Let's see what happens in preseason, and then when the real game starts, when the Premier League starts, let's see what happens. But I already like the fact that he acknowledges and he passes the message to the players. Look, just because you do like to play as a winger does not mean that you can only play as a winger. And we've seen this with the transfer strategy as well, right? We've talked about that. We've talked about the fact that we're looking for players that can play in those different types of positions. So very, very happy to hear it from Enzo Maresca yet again. He also talked about the inverted fullback role, talked about Reece James, how he watched games from when Reece James, he didn't know the club, but when Reece James was at Wigan, he was also playing in that midfield. Talked about Cucurella, about Gusto, how he's improving there as well. So all great comments. We're, of course, a couple of hours away from the first preseason game. If I wake up, I'll go live and make a video. If not, then you just have to wait until the morning. It's unfortunate that we have to wake up so late, but I guess we get the benefit of living in Europe throughout the year, so we don't have to wake up super early for the Premier League games and Champions League games. But okay, we can move on. Now, we have some extra things we need to talk about here in this video, a couple of transfers. So first up, we've got here Cesar Casade is attracting interest from Fiorentina, who have been in contact with Chelsea and have been told that he can leave for 12 million euros. Small profit if that's the price that they are paying for him. We've also been linked, I don't know how true this is, but with Oscar Bob from Manchester City. He's 21 years old, from Norway. These are his stats. So he plays majority of the time on the right, can play attacking midfielder, can play left winger as well, and center forward. The stats here, of course, not all from Manchester City first team, but is decent. Do we need him? No, I don't think we do. And again, I don't know where these rumors are coming from. It says here Manchester Evening News, but I've been hearing Oscar Bob's name for the last couple of days. So I don't know. If we get him, it's probably for a cheap price, but I don't really see why we would be getting another right winger attacking midfield. Just doesn't make sense to me. Then we've got some news with regards to the Lukaku, Napoli, Osimhen, PSG saga. So Napoli's contact with Lukaku's entourage continues today too. They are working on a 3-year contract worth 6 million euros per year, plus bonuses and image rights. Remains to be seen what happens. We are asking 35 million euros. Napoli only want to pay 25 million euros. I mean, at this point, just take the 25 million. We'll get a lot of wages unlocked, right? Because I don't know how much he earns at Chelsea, but way too much. Way too much. Moving on to the goalkeeper. Apparently this one is moving quite fast. So Chelsea are closing in on a deal for third goalkeeper in a year. Chelsea are closing in on the signing of Villarreal goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen, who would be the club's third new goalkeeper in less than a year. Chelsea are expected to agree a deal worth about 25 million euros. According to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea have already reached an agreement with Philip's camp on personal terms, long-term contract ready. He also started to follow Chelsea on Instagram today. Now, again, I've been watching a couple of clips from him, and to be honest, is he so much better than Sanchez and Petrovic? I don't see it, but it could be a scenario like Raya and Ramsdale at Arsenal. Let's see what happens. And then lastly here was a comment on Nkunku, so have a listen.
He can play everywhere. He's one of the players that in these 2 weeks is doing very, very well. Is already taking the way we want to play, so that is important. And as I said, these kind of players for me, they can play winger, they can play attacking midfielder, they can play in 9, they can play in different positions.
And this again goes back to the same point, right? Having players that can play in different positions, having players that can play in different systems as well. And apparently Nkunku is definitely a player that will be exactly that. Can play as a false 9, attacking midfielder on the left, on the right, probably more on the left, which of course solves our little issue, right, of left wingers, because we're only having now Sterling and Modric. So yeah, if Nkunku can be the threat on the left, that could be something useful for us. Plus, we've also seen that Nicolas Jackson out wide can also be a threat. So I'm loving these comments from Enzo Maresca. Of course, I would love to see more Chelsea games. A couple of hours, we've got the first one. Hopefully the pitch will be quite decent. Hopefully no injuries. And hopefully we get to see the system working. We get to see the flow between the players. That especially would be quite nice, because I'm quite tired of talking about transfer rumors and stuff like that. I really want to go back to the analyzing football, analyzing goals, mistakes, stuff like that. I think that's way more, let's say, enjoyable than just talking about rumors about players coming in, players going out, etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, exciting times. If you want me to predict the lineup, I don't know. It's a preseason game. You can change all the players, so it doesn't really matter who starts the game, because probably a lot of the players, if not all of the players, are going to get a chance to play today. So yeah, there is that. Overall, there's still some transfers that will happen, ins and outs. Pretty big ones as well. Not big money moves, but big ones because, well, it will either save us a lot of money with regards to wages, or big ones because it might be an academy player leaving. So that's about it for this video. Of course, do share your predictions for the first preseason game down in the comment section below. We'll do a full review of the game, or whenever the game is done, or a couple of hours later when I'm up. So stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
In these weeks, we try different situation. We try James inside, Reece. To be honest, Malo is trying to do that and is doing fantastic. Mark, as you said, he can do that. And we also try different situation, different players that they can do that.